Welcome back to JumpScare. I'm Betty B. Dudley.
And I'm Chad Youngblood.
So, we're gonna start with something a little unusual. We will begin with a poem, a quote. The quote goes, O great brothers of the night, who rideth upon the hot winds of hell, who dwelleth in the devil's lair, move and appear. This quote is in the opening credits, taken from the invocation of destruction in the Satanic Bible, the opening of today's discussion about the car.
The car.
The car.
The car.
The car.
Yes,
is it THEE? We're going back since we dwelleth and we
we're going to talk about it's an old. Did you know it was an old English car? The car will destroy you, sir.
Apparently, no, I did not know.
No, it's not. It's a Lincoln Continental Mark III.
The monocle may have been like a little subtle clue that it was going to be a British old car.
Yes, quite.
Yeah. This film has fantastic opening shots, shot all over the place. Glen Canyon in Utah, Crazy Horse Canyon. I mean, just parts of the whole film, in fact. Cinematography is amazeballs. I
feel kind of like everything around there was so beautiful. You could just set the camera on the ground and kick it and get an amazing shot of it just like spinning around, looking at the natural beauty and be like, oh, that's amazing. What a great cinematographer. He did no work. He just showed up, turned the camera on. It looked amazing. Okay?
That was it. That's all he did. And he just spun it on the ground like fucking the twist the bottle, whatever the fuck it's called.
Spin the bottle?
Spin the bottle. Shows you how many times I played that game.
Yeah, I missed it on that too. But yeah, it's an amazing looking area. And especially when you watch it in high definition, it's like, oh my God, how did they... It just looks beautiful.
The Shudder, we watched this on Shudder. We love you, Shudder. The Shudder version of this is immaculate. Like, it looks like the shit was, like, filmed yesterday.
Yeah, instead of, what was it, 77 or 78?
Ooh, I think it's 77.
Yeah, I think it was too, but it's as old as it is, it looks amazing. And I love it when they redo these ones. Yeah, it was 77. I love it when they finally do these ones, like, because I had seen this years ago on VHS. They released it, I think it was Anchor Bay had put it out on VHS, and I remembered seeing advertisements for it when I was a kid, but I didn't actually see it. So I went and had gotten the VHS of it years ago, and it looked good at the time because they had cleaned it up a little bit. But VHS is only going to look so good, and don't make that face at me. You know that there's no way this looks as good as any VHS. Any VHS looked as good as what they were showing on Shudder.
It looked amazing. I'm not going to sit here, of course, it didn't have all the little pops and stuff that I love from the VHS, but it was fine because this film needs to be seen, like, shown in all the drive-ins, and just the way that we saw it, it's just, the clarity was just fantastic. I'm not going to get into, what they did or, like, clean it up or anything, but it looked pretty good, and...
I would love to see this in the drive-in.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Can we be sitting in the actual car while we're watching the car?
Oh, I don't care what you watch. As long as you're sitting in the car, it's fine.
Fine, we'll just sit on the fucking bicycle from Big Top. I was going to say Big Top Pee-wee, which is my favorite Pee-wee. Sorry. I just killed it because it's not. That's the second one.
Yeah, he rides a bike in that too, I think.
A little bit, I guess. I don't know.
But the whole bicycle thing. Yeah, the whole bicycle thing was in the first one, though.
Big Adventure.
Yes.
Yeah. Who James Brolin was in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Weird enough. And James Brolin, he was the man of the fucking day. He was like the man's man.
Yeah.
He's like fucking in Amityville Horror. Literally, like 2 years later, he's, doing crazy shit. He's in fucking Westworld. Like, this motherfucker all over the place. He's like, I am gonna be the guy that's gonna, like, take this shit down. Like, I'm protecting stuff with my mustache. That's how he does it. The mustache has, like, magical fucking properties.
Oh, yeah, because it could clearly stop cars and everything else. Also in this movie is Ronnie Cox, who shows up in another horror movie that we love, The Beast Within.
Yes, such a great movie.
And of course, Ronnie Cox is also known for being the asshole in charge of everything and OCP on RoboCop. He was a douchebag in Star Trek: The Next Generation. He's been in everything. Right? He's one of those actors that shows up. If a show goes on long enough, Ronnie Cox shows up in it. He was even in The Deep Blue Sea, and he has 0 lines. He just sits at a desk and stares at the main character while she's giving a presentation. Why you got him to come and be in the movie and not have any lines is beyond me, but they did.
Crazy. And Josh, I'm sorry, not Josh. I was thinking
James Brolin.
James Brolin.
That's because Josh Brolin's in, the $1 billion movie right now.
$1.6 billion. It's like, let me just roll in the money and kick and scream like, I'm rich, bitch.
I'd love to know how much they all got out of that, but probably not as much as we think.
Well, his daughters in the film are child actresses. The original, actually, Kim Richards is one of the original Disney kids. Kim,
yeah, she was in the Witch Mountain movies, right?
Yes, and Kyle Richards, who, if you're a big Halloween fan, Kyle Richards is the little girl from the original Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
So she's in here a year before that film.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. You probably would not recognize her because her hair is like light in this movie, and her hair in the other movie is like brown.
Yeah, I wonder which one they dyed it for.
So that's a good question. Well,
they may have lightened it for this because they were out in the desert.
That's true.
Everybody's in the sun all the time.
And they're trying to make them look more like sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they may have dyed it a little bit to try and match them up a little bit more.
Let me tell you that I had very low expectations coming into this film. This is my first time I've ever seen it. I knew of it, but I had never seen it before. So we chose this for what our theme is for this discussion is the hot rod of horror.
Yeah.
We chose this specific movie because, Christine and, Maximum Overdrive, those are ones that have been done, I'm sure, a bajillion times. And I'm sure, obviously, if there's people out here that love the car film, which, of course, there has to be, this has also been done, but I would think not as much.
I feel like this one's a little bit more... Christine, sure, is evil, but I feel like this one doesn't even get a name. And I feel like that makes it even scarier when it's just a car that comes out of nowhere, starts killing people for no reason.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you don't think Michael Myers is related to, what's her face, Laurie Strode.
Yeah.
You would think that this would be like the Michael Myers of cars.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It is the Michael Myers of cars, where it just comes out of nowhere. It's a nice, sunny day out in the middle of the desert, and the car just shows up, kills 2 people on bikes, moves around, starts killing more people. There's no real explanation as to why. There's no explanation as to exactly what it is. And you definitely get the idea it's a possessed car or it's the devil's car or something, because the car can't cross onto hallowed ground.
Yeah, I thought while I was watching the movie, because you see like a young couple in love, they look like a bunch of maybe like hippies-esque, I definitely got they were like good people vibe. They're like riding bikes in the morning. That's what they do before they're having their fucking toast and shit. And they're doing their thing. And then everyone that does get killed by the car, I felt was a good person. This car was just after trying to collect these good souls is how I interpreted the film.
That's true. There really aren't any
because he kind of lets the asshole people in the film fucking live, that fucking wife beating asshole.
Yeah, who's played by the R.G. Armstrong, who's the boss that Schwarzenegger and all of them report to at the beginning of Predator.
Yeah, that guy's a douchebag in this film. He's a wife-beating asswipe, and he swerves around him to get to the other guy, to deputy, to kill his ass. And he was a good guy.
Yeah, he was trying to, get the guy's wife to file charges against him and he made sure that the car made sure to run over him.
Yeah, and it was that was his high school sweetheart, so they kind of side mentioned. He may have had a thing for her, but he was, sad to see that was the kind of life that she was living because she really didn't deserve it. And
there is an episode of Supernatural that kind of steals a little bit from this, where there's a possessed car that's coming back, killing people, and they actually do it in by getting it to chase them onto an area where there's a church, had been a church at one point, and the ground is still hallowed, and the car explodes when it drives into it.
Interesting. Yeah, they're definitely influenced by this film.
Yeah, so I would say they got that, at least they're paying a little homage to that in there. And, this was in 77, and Christine wasn't written until around 83, 84, I believe, is when it came out. And I have to wonder if maybe this is where Stephen King got some of his ideas from. Besides the fact that he's, obsessed with evil cars and cars in general. You've got all his, Maximum Overdrive, the cars going after people. Or in the story, it's just called Trucks. It's all the trucks trying to kill people. He's got from a Buick 8. He's got issues with cars.
Yeah, and then later on, maybe he saw into the fucking future and knew that he was going to hit by a car.
He was going to get run over and was like, I hate fucking cars.
That's exactly what fucking happened. Stephen King is Nostradamus. That's why he's fighting evils every day on Twitter against Donald Trump. That's like his
He's like Nosferatu-damus. He's like a vampire psychic.
Nosferatu-Adamus. Which, he kind of has a Nosferatu character in Salem's Lot.
Yeah, so there you go.
There you go. Boom. 360 circle. Full circle.
He's a psychic vampire.
All right. We love you, Stephen King. Go ahead with your psychic vampire. And it's never die. Well, he can never die. He's a vampire.
Yeah, he's not going to die. And if that car didn't get him, nothing's going to.
That's for fucking sure. Especially that other, green goblin car from Maximum Overdrive, that truck.
Oh, yeah, that thing's insane.
The green goblin face.
But yeah, so the car, like we said, is basically... Within it's a very simple story. Kind of like... It seems to me like all the really good horror movies are just a good, simple story.
Yeah.
This one's just nice, wholesome little town. Everybody gets along. There's some bad people there, but for the most part, everybody's good.
Yeah, guys trying to, see if the woman he's dating is going to be, the one that he's going to marry, introduce, officially to his daughters who are, not really into her. But, she's a really good person. And it's just a little glimpse of people just living their lives. And here comes, out of the fucking blue, something that's going to, change their fucking life forever. In a bad way.
Yeah, it's just... And most of this takes place over just a day or so.
Yeah. It's definitely not, this whole week drawn-out thing. It's here I am, I'm going to kill, and then bam, I'm done. And there's so much carnage from beginning to end of the film.
Yeah, and for a movie that couldn't have any kind of CGI or anything, they pull off some pretty crazy stunts in this.
Yeah, they do. The car itself, there is one scene, I believe it's at trying to get into the cemetery where all the school kids and the chaperones are hiding out.
Yeah, because the car was going to run everyone down during band practice.
Yeah, it was he was I do not like this fucking song you're playing. I will murderify all of you bitches.
So they ran to hide in the cemetery thinking that, this might, slow it down a little bit, having to run over all these tombstones, but it couldn't cross the threshold. It couldn't cross into hallowed ground.
It tried, but it was very unsuccessful, and it got major goaded by... James Brolin's girlfriend, who was goading it the whole time because she had a fucking balls of steel. I would have been cowering behind a tombstone crying. That would have not been me. But that scene, I think this is the scene where they show the car. It's done, try to get in a couple of times. It shows the car from her perspective, she's looking at it, and in the car, there's inside the actual car, there's a faint orangey dimmed glow, and there's fog in there, slowly rising in there. You can't see anyone in there. That shit was scary as hell. I was oh fuck, because this whole time all you've seen are black windows.
Yeah, well, you're seeing on the inside, it's you're inside of a weird crystal or something looking out, and it's the windshield's a little distorted, the colors are off, everything's weird.
It's really weird in there, and it was just was the devil bored? He's I'm just gonna go up, ride my demon car around, kill some people, go back to hell. What? It was
it must have been break? Because it was crazy looking on the inside.
I usually don't like when they don't tell us what the fuck is going on. But I totally accepted in this film, and I know a lot of people who have seen the film feel like this film was like, especially, I mean, it got terrible reviews when it came out. It was like how that this was corny, and this was like a wannabe duel and all this other stuff. But for the most part, and it was like super campy. It's a horror movie, and like Shad said, the effects are pretty good. The story is simple, but you really, I mean, connect with the people. Nowadays, usually there's no plot and there's no character development. And you do have character development in here within the characters who live in this small, like, close knit town. They're all helping one another and just a community. And this thing just comes and like rips them a new asshole.
Yeah, I think it was Wes Craven that said about horror movies that they were always scarier when, if you went to hell, that was your choice. You made the choice to go into hell and try to do whatever. But when hell comes to you, that's not your choice. That's just it coming out of the blue after you. And that's way scarier because you're just minding your business and suddenly zombies.
Yeah.
Suddenly evil cars, demons, whatever it is. If you go out finding it, I'm going to go out and see if I can't find this ghost in a house. No, that's your problem. You the dumbass that went in there and looked for that.
That's true.
But if you just move into a house and no idea and turn out it's haunted, that's way scarier.
Yeah, you have no control over that. And, I mean, your mortgage is now terrible because you have to pay for this house and it's fucking haunted. It's just like, you can't get a refund. There's no going back.
Yeah, it's really not a good, ghosts don't add a lot to resale value.
Now, there's some crazy, like, the car kills in very unique ways in the film.
Yeah, I gotta say, my favorite is when he just turns around and the car is in the garage. How the fuck did he get in the garage?
Magically, yo.
Yeah, that shit just appeared in there because there's no way the car should have just gotten into that garage.
It definitely was like an oh shit moment because here he goes turning around and there's this fucking car just waiting and it's like trying him every like move that he goes, it like follows him. It's intense.
Yeah, and like he had been in the garage and then just all of a sudden, boom, the car's there behind him. Like how the hell did that just pop in there?
I don't know. It's definitely one of those like crazy cinematic moments where you are like expecting a car to like be driving around in the front trying to get in, but he already in.
It's already there.
Yeah, which is the scariest thing. And how about when his poor girlfriend is just calling him, letting him know like what just happened, like she made it home safe, whatever, but the fucking car, she feels like the car is more than what they think it is.
She's like, there's like a weird wind outside. I just don't feel right about this. And yeah, she was right. There's strange things afoot out there.
What a beautiful shot. So the house has this huge rectangular window and the camera is facing the window. So, but she's in frame facing the audience having this discussion. So her back is to the window. And the window's pretty large. You just see the back road, like, because they live in the middle of fucking nowhere. And just slowly, like, if there were, like, fireflies, you see a small bit of light in the distance. And then it gets closer and closer. And, I mean, at this point, once you see the light, you are like, oh, shit. That's the fucking car. What the hell is it gonna do? It does not stop, y'all. It literally jumps through the window, like decapitates her, like runs her down from one end of the room out the fucking back of the house and it's gone. It is like the best scene.
He does not slow down. He did not hit the fucking brakes once. He just went
no right hesitation through. And her look in her eye is like, I'm dead. There's nothing she can do because this car, even if she would have laid down, that car would have just like he did earlier when he backed up on the guy.
Yeah, it
like several times.
There was no way it was going to get it. She was get away. She was screwed. And that's why you should never taunt demon cars.
Yeah, that's the. I feel like at that moment she was like, "Ooh, I probably should have not called the car a bunch of names and said it had no balls."
It's like that scene in the Blob where the guy says, "I think you pissed it off."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you pissed off the car, and it's coming for you.
So that definitely was actually my favorite car movie. No pun intended. And Christine is up there too. I like Christine. I really haven't seen Christine in a really long time. That's actually one of my dad's favorite movies.
Yeah, Christine's good, and I've read the book of Christine too, and it's a little different than the basic premise is the same, but the car, how the car kills people is handled a little differently in the book. But it's still basically the same plot, and I like it a lot. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, with Christine, you could have just at some point you could have just gotten him to convince the car, hey, look, the car is evil and killing people. You know that, right? So at some point, it's like the blame's not just on the car; the blame's on the guy.
That's true.
So it's he got bullied one time too many.
You know what just occurred to me? We literally own another car movie, The Hearse.
Oh yeah.
That movie, I don't even think we've done a podcast on that movie.
No, we'll have to save that for another one.
Yeah, that movie's pretty dope too.
Yeah, I actually was lucky enough to win that in a contest online, and I had not seen it before. I had seen the cover art for it in the video stores over the years. But yeah, that one's pretty good. We'll have to devote a whole podcast to that.
Yeah, that movie came out in 1980, so a little bit after this film.
Yeah. But yeah, keep your ears out because The Hearse is going to be coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon to a podcast near you. The other film that we watched is Drive Angry.
Yes, with Nicolas Cage and Amber Heard and one of my favorite actors, William Fichtner.
Yeah, that guy. I had no idea. I'd also never seen this film. Shad had seen it. I didn't know what to expect from the movie. I didn't even know it was Nicolas Cage until literally I'm sitting here and I'm like, Shad, is that Nicolas Cage? And he's like, yeah. I didn't even bother to look at the front cover of the thing or I guess maybe the credits. But yeah, he's totally in the movie. And the movie, I feel like there's a lot going on in the movie. I didn't know where the fuck it was going or what was going to happen. You know, Shad already, obviously, he knew what was going on. So I don't know if it was fun for him to, like, watch me watch the movie. But I was like, what is going on? This is a crazy fucking movie. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's pretty out there. It, they tried at first to kind of hide the fact that, if you haven't seen it by now, that Nicolas Cage's character in it has escaped from hell. He's escaped from hell to come back and try and save his granddaughter. And initially, they didn't really advertise that or play that up very much. It wasn't until closer to the release date that they kind of let the cat out of the bag and said, oh yeah, he's a dead guy. He's come out of hell to save his granddaughter. And it's a pretty crazy movie.
Yeah,
it's from
crazy.
Todd Farmer and Patrick Lussier that did the remake of My Bloody Valentine. And Todd Farmer also wrote the Jason X, the infamous Jason in Space movie.
Oh, God. He probably should have just stopped making movies after that movie, but I guess it was already too late.
Well, everybody hates that movie, but, it's fun.
It's definitely a movie of its time. But let me say, there was a lot going on in the film. You have Amber Heard, which at the time no one knew who she was. So there she is with her little, self walking around being a badass. So you know that, she's probably going to be, she needs to be this strong because there's shit that's going to come toward her where she's going to have to like get, big balls super soon. And then you have Nicolas Cage, who you don't even know what his problem is. He's looking for someone. And then you have like a cult and they're driving some pretty, Nicolas Cage drives like 3 amazing cars in the movie. The movie's riddled with cars all over the place.
Yeah, everybody's car is like a super fancy car.
Yeah, Amber Heard owns a certain kind of car.
It's a Dodge Charger.
Okay. And all the cars look amazing. I'm not a car head. I wish I was. Mechanic's daughter and all, but I could appreciate the beauty of the cars, especially when they all look like black stallions. Like, they were just gorgeous.
Yeah. No, And I love the fact that when they're describing the cars to the accountant, the guy who's come out of hell to try and bring Nicolas Cage back,
Yes.
they're describing the car to him at one point, and he says, is it the 440 or the Hemi? And he goes, the 440, and he makes his face like, yeah, what a waste. Like, they have car preferences in hell, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what those preferences would be, but obviously he did not care for that. But I can't even wrap my head around like this movie. I think everyone should watch this movie. It was really fun to watch. There was a lot of action. Nicolas Cage, he was in Gone in 60 Seconds. That's another car movie. Like, we know Nicolas Cage loves cars.
Yeah, he's got a thing for doing car movies. Maybe he should do a Stephen King car movie.
Ooh, yeah. Now that he's back in the scene and like all these like Mandy and all these other crazy movies that he's doing. Yeah, he's definitely within his own genre.
Yeah, and then of course right after this he did Ghost Rider.
Oh yeah, well I didn't
Which again is a, guy from hell driving it's a motorcycle, but
he likes to just be the guy from hell.
He was having a bad time apparently. He felt really down in the dumps. He was like, I'm just gonna play all these characters that go to hell.
Yeah, we chose Drive Angry not because the title is Drive Angry, but because there are so many like amazing looking cars in the movie, and it's bananas to me to think like Hollywood has like this lot somewhere like with tons of cars, or they just could get any car they want at their disposal, where like, okay, we're doing a movie in the 1920s, we're gonna need 1920s cars that were made at that time or before that time, and they can a lot of what's going on in a lot of films is all due to the cars that they use in the movies. So it's really cool to see how either the car is affecting someone's life in one way or another, where they're either terrorizing or they're demonized or possessed or whatever, or the characters have to utilize these cars to like get away from the thing that's after them. And in the Drive Angry aspect, he needed a fast fucking car to get like to where he needed to go.
Yeah, he had to get from he popped out, and I think he came out in Texas. He had to get all the way to Louisiana.
Yeah, that's
he had to
a
get
drive.
there fast.
I'm already taking a nap based on that drive. It's like, woo, lordy.
I'll be in the backseat asleep if you need me.
Yes. We recommend the movie if it's like a rainy day, you're bored, it's on the TV for free.
Go ahead and pop in Drive Angry because it's a fun watch.
Yeah, it is a fun watch. We watch this on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I own the Blu-ray of it.
Okay, so you can't tell anyone to go and watch it.
I'm not sure if it's on Amazon or any of that kind of stuff, but the Blu-ray I've seen it now at Walmart for like $5.88. So
okay,
it's worth a $5 buy.
Yeah, and the car, like we said before, is on Shudder.
Yeah, and I love the fact that when you're watching it on the movies on Shudder, like before you even started, like they have the whole wallpaper behind it, so you get the nice big shot of the front of the car.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Final thing on that is I also read that Guillermo del Toro owns a replica of the car from this movie because he loved it so much.
Of course he does.
And can you imagine that you've seen this movie and then a few days later you look down the road and that's coming towards you?
I wonder if if I were to ever meet him, I would ask him like, hey, do you drive around and does anyone notice like, oh shit, that's the car, like it's after me, like you think like you're like all of a sudden like just picking strawberries and here you look up and you're like, oh shit, I might get run over.
It's coming for me.
Yeah, it's coming for me. You're grabbing your fucking chest and shit.
Oh, and the other fact about the car is it's also featured in the Simpsons Halloween opening that Guillermo del Toro directed a few years ago. It's the car, I believe it's the car Maggie's driving instead of the Simpsons car like that. She's driving the car.
That's fantastical. How does a demon, I guess if you're a demon or some entity, because a car has no fucking door handles. There's no door handles to the car.
On the outside.
On the outside.
Which means you can only get into it if you can pass through objects like that. So you're a ghost, you're a demon.
You're something, or like you're going through the tailpipe to get into the car.
Yeah, somehow you're getting in that normal people aren't.
You know what movie does have some nice cars in it? That crazy fucking, Sometimes They Come Back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, another Stephen King
Car movie.
car movie. Stephen King
definitely has issues with cars.
And then his son would later write Nosferatu, which is the plate on the car.
Which that's coming out as a series on AMC this summer, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to be either really amazing or really terrible. I don't think it's going to be terrible because I could not read that story in the nighttime. I only read it halfway through and I could only read it in the daytime. It freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah, Joe Hill's got some pretty terrifying ones.
Yeah, Joe Hill literally like the writing gene is strong in that family.
Yeah,
got me all tongue tied.
Yeah, they're all pretty intense. I haven't read anything by Owen King. I know he does. He's written a couple of novels as well. He hasn't written as many, but I gotta read some of his sometime and see what he's like.
Let's get the other King. He was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm coming out. I'm Owen King. That's it. I don't got games to play. I'm not changing my name, trying to like get it on my own. I'm not gonna be Joe. You know, I'm Owen King. You know?
Yeah, I think he figured out too, like, everybody sees me and there's no denying who's my father.
There literally is no denying. Like, Joe Hill, when I saw him, I was like,
Is this young Stephen King?
Is this like fucking Dark Castle, like thing where, like, Stephen King in the Dark Castle was writing fucking novels and now these novels are coming out and his name is Joe Hill? Like, is that what's happening? Because I could totally see that being a thing that he would do.
Yeah, so... Yeah, you're not gonna hide who you are in that family. They all look like him.
Yeah, I think even the wife looks like him. I'm just kidding. But thank you so much for listening again. Hope you enjoyed our Hot Rods of Horror segment that we had for you this week. We definitely will be back again next Monday with a new episode. And find us on iTunes, Podbean, and...
YouTube.
We're on YouTube. You can't see us. You can hear us and appreciate us. One day you might be able to see us. But for right now, it's just going to be like a photo and then our annoying voices.
Yeah. We may try to do our own little live stream of some videos at some point, but we haven't got there yet.
Yeah, we're not fancy AF like some of you out there. So we're getting ready to do some other things. But, you know, we're also on other platforms. We are on Instagram as JumpScare Podcast. We're also on Facebook and a Facebook group if you happen to live in the Orlando area as the Orlando Horror Society. And we're also on Horror Amino.
As JumpScare?
As JumpScare, yes.
Okay.
And also as the Orlando Horror Society. We got 2 accounts on there because I really love Horror Amino.
I know, you're on that all the time.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun, and it's different audience of people that are there just for that one thing. Like, there's a horror amino for everything. There's a horror amino for, like, anime, but, like, Dragon Ball Z, like, specific bullshit.
I know. They get very specific.
Oh, yeah. They're not fucking around over there in Horror Amino. We love you, Horror Amino, and we love you, Shudder. So come back and see us, and once again, stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.